Alexander Kuprin, a short story collection, an introduction. Alexander Kuprin was born in Narovchat, Penza, in Russia, on 7th of September 1870. At 3, his father died, and he and his mother moved to Moscow. By 10, he was enrolled at the 2nd Moscow Military High School, and there his interest in literature began. The Alexandra Military Academy followed, and 2 years later he was a sub-lieutenant and posted to an infantry regiment for a further 4 years. Despite his duties, he was now a keen writer and published his first short story at this time. His military duties also garnered him experiences for his breakthrough work, The Duel. Leaving the military, he left for Kiev to work for local newspapers. He continued to publish both stories and novels, and by 1901 he was in St Petersburg, becoming part of a group that included Chekhov, Ivan Bunin, Maxim Gorky, and Leonid Andreyev. In the ensuing years, further controversial works and acclaim followed. His comments on the regime meant he was also put under secret police surveillance. As World War I erupted, Kuprin opened a military hospital, but was then given command of an infantry company in Finland, but soon discharged on grounds of ill health. The October Revolution saw him praise Lenin, but he warned that the Bolsheviks threatened Russian culture and might cause further widespread suffering to the peasants. As civil war raged, he took his family to Helsinki and then on to Paris. Exile saw his talents decline further and his succumbing to alcoholism. He became lonely and withdrawn. The family's poverty increased his malaise. In May 1937, the Kuprins returned to Moscow. He now saw his work published, but wrote almost nothing new. In 1938, his health rapidly deteriorated. Already suffering from a kidney problem and sclerosis, he had now developed cancer of the esophagus. Alexander Kuprin died on 25th of August, 1938.
A Slav Soul by Alexander Kuprin. The farther I go back in my memory of the past, and the nearer I get to remembering incidents connected with my childhood, the more confused and doubtful do my recollections become. Much, no doubt, was told me afterwards, in a more conscious stage of my existence, by those who, with loving care, noticed my early doings. Perhaps many of the things that I recall never happened to me. I heard or read them some time or other, and their remembrance grew to be a part of myself. Who can guarantee which of these recollections are of real facts, and which of tales told so long ago that they have all the appearance of truth? Who can know where one ends and the other begins? My imagination recalls with special vividness the eccentric figure of Yasha and the 2 companions, you might also call them friends, who accompanied him along the path of life: Matsko, an old rejected cavalry horse, and the yard dog, Buton. Yasha was distinguished by the deliberate slowness of his speech and actions, and he always had the air of a man whose thoughts were concentrated on himself. He spoke very seldom and considered his speech. He tried to speak good Russian, though at times, when he was moved, he would burst out in his native dialect of Little Russian. Owing to his dress of a dark colour and sober cut, and to the solemn and almost melancholy expression of his shaven face and thin, pursed lips, he always gave the impression that he was an old servant of a noble family of the good old times. Of all the human beings that he knew, Yasha seemed to find my father, the only one besides himself, worthy of his veneration. And though to us children, to my mother, and to all our family and friends, his manner was respectful, it was mingled with a certain pity and slighting condescension. It was always an enigma to me, whence came this immeasurable pride of his. Servants have often a well-known form of insolence. They take upon themselves some of that attractive authority which they have noticed in their masters. But my father, a poor doctor in a little
Sample complete. Ready to continue?